Hello everyone, Alexander Love here. So happy to be with you today. And in this video, what I'm going to do is introduce three different worldviews: the pre-tragic, tragic, and post-tragic worldviews. And then we'll take some time to explore the first one, the pre-tragic worldview. Humanity is currently writing a sacred story. We might call it the myth of separation, a recognition that there is this sacred gap that allows us to look at the world and look at ourselves and ask, what am I? Why am I here? Why are we here? And what are we going to do about that? This story has been something that we have been writing for hundreds of thousands of years. And in this moment, we are in a time where our current story may no longer be sufficient for us to address the complexities of this time. And so what I'd like to do is unpack some of the iterations of this story as it has unfolded through time, beginning with what's called the pre-tragic worldview. In other videos, we'll explore the tragic worldview, which is the next iteration of our story, and then the post-tragic worldview, which will offer us a new possibility, an addition, a new chapter in the story that we've been creating, exploring what does it mean to be human, what does it mean to be us, and how can we orient to our existence in such a way that it brings greater care, greater love into a world that currently feels like it is filled with a lot of divisiveness. So let's begin with the pre-tragic worldview. Now, firstly, a worldview in general is a set of values, beliefs that we take on. We digest them, we ingest them from our world, and we process what our caregivers are teaching us, what our teachers are teaching us, what our community is teaching us, and we take these values, these perspectives on the world, and we assimilate these into our being, for better or for worse. The pre-tragic worldview first arises when we are little. This worldview begins with innocence. That there's a dimension of being in us prior to experiencing the pain and tragedies of life that is innocent. There's a certain degree of ease in this youthful dimension of being. From here, the world is experienced as fundamentally good, but because we have never been challenged otherwise. That life is fundamentally good. We see this in children whose caregivers protect them from the tragedies of the world. There's a youthful spontaneity in our being. There's a natural curiosity. There's a natural willingness to take up space. Why? Because we never learned that being small was an option. What we learned is that life is for exploration. And the natural aspects of our being that are curious, interested, leaning in to discover and learn, foregrounds not consciously, but as a natural feature of feeling safe enough to explore. Now, there are moments in our lives when we start to interface with tragedy. And in these moments, the pre-tragic worldview will often seek to preserve innocence. It will seek to preserve innocence through adopting a relationship with a higher authority that promises, if we do the right things, everything will be okay. We might see this in children with their parents. We might see this with adults and structures of authority around them that seek to displace the pain in a way that explains the pain away, or an authority that promises to remove the pain so that we can remain in this state of innocence. One of the things that can occur with a pre-tragic worldview, especially in adults, is that we'll exchange honesty for certainty. What this means is, even if there's some evidence that there is something going wrong in our lives, there's some tragedy that's affecting our lives or the lives of others, instead of feeling the sting of that, we may adopt a belief system that turns that into something that doesn't exist, or that the people that are hurting are sort of transformed into a caricature of a human being, that it allows the suffering that's happening in the world to be at such a great distance that we don't feel it. This may look like denying the climate crisis and saying, well, after all, there's still snow on the ground, so the earth must not be getting warmer. This is a way to not look at a deeper truth, because the implications of that would bring us into a deeper sense of tragedy. Instead, we adopt belief systems that keep that at a distance, in hopes that we can preserve this untainted innocence. So to review, a worldview is a perspective and a set of values that we take on, that help us make sense of the world around us. Each of these worldviews are an essential part of this larger narrative that human beings have been writing for many, many, many years. In this video, what we explored was the pre-tragic worldview, which in its inception is rooted in innocence. But as we grow up, there can be an attempt to preserve this innocence at the cost of really touching the pain of the world. We often do this through a higher authority that will either take the pain away or tells us that what's happening isn't actually happening. It's a way to bypass the pain. As we might see in spiritual circles, that will use spiritual bypassing to say, oh no, it's all good. Everything is fine here. Why? Because the teachings say that it's all good. Everything is an illusion. It's all made up. This gives us the opportunity to shield ourselves, to insulate ourselves from the tragedy of the world and try to maintain a sense of innocence. So, hope this was helpful. If you liked this video, please like, share, subscribe. If you'd like more content like this, you can look at the links below and you can find all sorts of things to explore. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.